Welcome back to Magic in the Muck, a soul's compass for change. I'm Jennifer Nagel, and I'm so glad that you're here. These past few weeks, we've been listening to the body in different ways. Through mindful movements of Feldenkrais with Wally Walsh, and through the embodied presence of tango with Diana Devi. If you haven't had a chance to listen to those episodes yet, I encourage you to go back and do so. Both of them have wonderful things to offer about different ways to listen to our bodies and just how much our bodies communicate. At first glance, Feldenkrais and tango might seem like opposite worlds. One more quiet and internal, and the other expressive and relational. But on reflecting on this, I realized they're really both teaching the same thing. The body is always speaking. It speaks through tension and release, through breath and stillness, and through the way we reach toward or pull away from connection. In whatever form that we're doing that in, when we slow down enough to listen, the body starts to tell us the truth. So today, I want to explore what these two conversations that I've had with Wally and with Diana, what they stirred up for me about movement, awareness, and the quiet dialogue that our bodies are always having with the soul. So when I think back to my conversation with Wally, what stays with me is his phrase about two nervous systems having a silent conversation. That's really what healing is, isn't it? Two systems attuning and co-regulating, learning how to listen again, learning how to listen to ourselves, learning how to co-regulate within ourselves. In the Feldenkrais approach, we learn through movement, through awareness of movement, not by forcing a new pattern, but by becoming aware of how we already move. And I've talked about this before, about how awareness really is the first step in change. It's the catalyst. So with our bodies, we begin to notice things like where we hold tension, the holding in of our shoulders, or the way your breath stops just before you speak. Something inside begins to reorganize when we become aware. It opens the door. And with Diana, it was the same truth, but with dance. She spoke of tango as a medicine, a way of communicating without words. It's not about steps, but about attuning, feeling the subtle shifts or the shared breath and the trust that both dancers will find rhythm together. So Feldenkrais and tango, different forms, but same wisdom about the body learning through awareness. Healing happens in relationship with ourselves, relationship with others, and relationship with the context that we find ourselves in. Let's take a breath right now and just notice the inhale and the exhale, and just noticing the expansion and contraction anywhere where the breath flows or feels caught. That's the beginning of awareness, and awareness is the beginning of change. So let's look at Virginia Satir's stages of change, which I've referred to in past episodes, because I can almost see this model of change as a dance of the nervous system. We can look at each stage as having its own rhythm, its own movement, starting with the status quo, that, the way things are, the choreography that we know so well. Our muscles brace, our postures settle into familiar shapes. It's what's predictable, the way things are. Sometimes this is comforting, and sometimes it's constraining. And we live in the status quo until a foreign element arrives, which is the unpredictability, because we live in an unpredictable world. So whether that's a diagnosis, a loss, a realization, something shifts and the rhythm falters. The body tightens, uncertain about how to meet what's coming. And then there's chaos, that inevitable chaos, which is that swirling uncertainty where everything feels unsteady. In tango, this might be the moment where two dancers lose step. They pause, they recalibrate, and listen. In life, it's the place where we most want to fix, control, or flee. But if we stay with it, if we stay with the chaos, bring our focus to our breathing and soften and listen, something new begins to emerge. Change is inevitable, and transformation is possible within the chaos. When the body reorganizes, a micro movement of curiosity, taking a deeper breath, unclenching the jaw, the nervous system whispering this way. Then comes the integration part, when the new pattern begins to feel familiar. The breath steadies, the shoulders release, and that inner compass recenters itself. When we practice this, the repetition, the daily remembering to soften instead of to brace, to notice instead of to numb. Each repetition tells the body that you're safe now, you can move differently. And the new status quo forms. A body that moves with more ease, more trust, more space for joy. Until, of course, life invites another dance and the spiral begins again. So let's take a moment just to feel into this together. If it feels comfortable, invite your beautiful eyes to close or just soften your gaze. And notice where your body meets the ground. Noticing the chair beneath you or your feet on the floor. Just feel that support. Feel the support of gravity holding you to the earth. And let your breath be easy. Now bring your attention inward toward that subtle rhythm that lives within you. Maybe it's the pulse of your heartbeat, the rise and fall of your breath, or a quiet current of energy that you can't quite name, but you can feel it. Maybe you can feel your cells vibrating with life. This is the rhythm of life. Not something outside you, but moving through you. Just notice what happens when you allow yourself to move in response to that rhythm. Maybe it's a small shift in your spine, a softening in your chest, or a gentle sway your body initiates all on its own. Just allow yourself to move in whatever way your energy is flowing. Notice how that movement changes your inner state. What happens when you follow rather than lead? When you let awareness take the first step and movement? Just notice what follows naturally. There's no choreography here, no right way to do it. It's simply the body remembering its own song, a quiet conversation within, between presence and flow, between being and becoming. This is what it means to move with awareness, to let the intelligence of the body guide the next moment. Our bodies hold the wisdom of all directions. Looking at the soul's compass that we explored in earlier episodes, the awakening of the East, where new possibilities stir. The warmth and vitality of the South, where growth unfolds. The letting go of the West, where we release what no longer fits. And the stillness of the North, where we rest and listen deeply. Every breath, every step, every pause, it's all part of the compass guiding us home. And when we listen to the body's language, not to control it, but to converse with it, we find that it's been guiding us toward wholeness all along. So as we close today, I invite you to consider, where in your life is your body asking to lead? Not with effort, but with awareness. Where might a small movement, a gentler rhythm, open space for something new? You don't have to push. You don't have to perfect. Just listen. Because your body already knows the next step, even when your mind doesn't. So I want to thank you for joining me today for this reflective episode of Magic in the Muck, A Soul's Compass for Change. If something in this conversation stirred or resonated, I would love to hear how it lives in your body. Maybe share your reflections on Instagram or in our Magic in the Muck Facebook community. Share this episode with someone who might also resonate with this, and please subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, may you listen deeply, move gently, and find the magic in your own muck. Take care. Thank you for being here with me on Magic in the Muck. If today stirred something in you and you're ready to walk this path more deeply, I invite you to join the Soul Compass Circle, a journey of reflection, connection, and soul-aligned living. You don't have to do this alone. Just visit the link in the show notes to step into the circle. I look forward to meeting you there.
I'm Michelle Abraham, founder of the High Vibe Podcast Network, and we're honored to have Jennifer Nagel's show Magic in the Muck as part of our network family. For more inspiring shows like this one, visit highvibepodcastnetwork.com, and don't forget to grab your free gifts from our host in the gift fold. Stay high vibe and keep sharing your light.